go what they call the Olympic Classes Regatta. And you can look for the Saturday video too. Here we go. Heading on out to the ocean. Yesterday we had 8 to 14 knots. It was mostly 11. And it was 265 degrees to 285 degrees on the compass yesterday. And then today it should be 250 to 285. So we're gonna have a bigger range, and I think it's gonna be more 250 to 265. More left by about 10-15 degrees. Anyway, we will get out there and see what happens. Current is supposed to be stronger out there today too. So what we're doing right now is, what happens in 29ers to kids a lot is they reach really, really high, and their VMG to the mark is not good. And they do it because they think the boat's supposed to be going rocket ship. Now, for this team, we're doing soak mode a little. We're having her hike instead. More stability is what we're looking for. Upright is fast in a skip. So, more stability. The skipper's controlling the heel with the tiller. And see how they're just having a blast. Like if this was a A team, this is a tier 2 team. A tier 1 team would be going full trap, skipper hiking, absolutely flat. These ladies' rig isn't tight enough either. I can see the port stay flopping around too much. But anyway, beautiful day. Okay, what do we think? It's a touch windier than it was yesterday. My forecast is for it to come from over there, the west more, and lighten up at some point. We're gonna see if that happens. But right now, my forecast of being a little further left and a little lighter, obviously is not showing at least yet. We still have 40 minutes to the first start on Sunday at this SD Olympic Classes Regatta. So the cumulus clouds are much bigger today than they were yesterday already. So again, my forecast is to blow this direction for a while and then go left 10-15 degrees and at some point lighten up. Braden and Wyatt, they got a pretty loose rig. See the port stay sag. That's okay. It's okay. They're not hiking. Right now. You got the 420 teams out here. Everybody's thinking the wind's supposed to be a little lighter. What's happening is the gradient wind, the high pressure system, and the sea breeze are kind of lined up with each other. That's what happened. We have a high pressure swirling in a good spot, and we have a sea breeze because it's 106 degrees in the desert today instead of 100. And it's actually, it's not colder out here today. It's about 67 or so on the water here. That's 39 degrees difference, so there's going to be a sea breeze. There it is. You see the clouds, heat rising over there. Okay, so you're looking at boom heights of teams, and a lot of these guys are fins down already. A lot of the top teams in 420s, they've already gone down a half a pin. Go down half a pin and a lot of rig tension. Probably at 31 on the rig goose gauge, believe it or not. Who's this? Oh, this is Kevin and Holland. They're winning the regatta pretty easily right now. Noah Nienhuis, a youth world medalist, bronze medalist right there. One of our best coaches, age 20. Woohoo! 11:40 now. You would be drifting over here. We know there's some current going on right to left now, about a boat length every 12 12 seconds, 15. So we know that. So we set ourselves up well above the committee boat. This would probably be too close in a sailboat. And we would drift around here. We would look at the flags, and we look at the angle of the gates. The wind is to the left, so my first guess is that that gate's further upwind right now with this wind direction. But we have to know the wind direction. That's why we're going to, 29ers especially, tier 1 29ers, we're going to start working on compasses more. Most of you have them, but you'd be checking the wind angle and maybe even checking that those gates are so close, you might check their angle right now. But the only problem is they might move. But anywho, you're checking stuff. You're drifting down just above the committee boat, looking at the angle of the flags and drifting down, seeing you have a line sight. You don't. So if you don't have a line sight, that means you're going to have to start by reading the other boats and being really good on the time. Okay, so I'd be drifting down here, and then I'd be doing a head to wind check. Head to wind is there, right there, and the whoa, I almost fell overboard. The marks are over there. Port tack's a little closer to the mark right now. And there you go. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's the reach mark over there. Remember, you got to do your pre-race research. Stay right here on the line. Come within hail flag is up. That means you got to either check in or come close to the race boat for an announcement. And there's the pin end, and you got to stay right here. I am definitely drifting. So in a small fleet especially, but anytime you're near the committee boat, I'm going to teach you what you do. I was a bow man for many years. I got yelled at if I didn't know where the line was, so I had a lot of tricks. There's the pin. There's the orange flag. There's going to be a person up there sighting the line, looking right down the line. So you have to imagine it this time. But as they're sighting the line, the crew is looking up there, and that person is looking right down the line, and you can watch their line of sight, and you can work yourself towards the line. Here I am holding position. There's the pin. I look up at that person when there's, you know how they do that? They sit there and they look right down the line from the orange flag to the pin, and you're slowly working forward. Here, I'd be next to this guy. There we go. There we go. So this is what you'd be doing right now, getting over here and checking the line. But in the last 30 seconds, that's a trick. If you're up for race 1 on Sunday, race 5 for the regatta, and flags coming down, the current's a tiny bit stronger than yesterday, so I suspect that we'll get these starts off. Yesterday, I don't know if we used an I flag. Very kind of composed C420 fleet. Usually we have more generate calls in it where there's more desperation. These kids practice a lot. About half this fleet from Newport Beach area, a regional program from BCYC and stuff, they create quite a lot of kids out practicing a lot, raising the level of everybody. And everybody seems to be pretty nice. So that you can see the race committee chairman's head looking down the flag. These people should be looking up at her, especially the ones near her, and you can kind of get a vision of where the line is by looking at her sight up there. So she's looking right down the line. The boats at the pin, yeah, the current's kind of strong. I think we're going to get this start off easily. This race committee often sets the pin. Look at the angle to 7588. So that's all you need to see that the pin's favored. Here's our boys, 900. 900. A lot of kids in the middle of that fleet were not on the line because of the current. But 9006, one of the youngest teams in the fleet, have sailed 420s in racing very little lately. They've mostly been racing Savits, and they're in 3rd overall right now. 3 thirds and an 11th yesterday. Outstanding. Yep, they got the jib tight. The leeches of these jibs blow out very quick, so you got to go jib tight. No tighter. He's on the inside mark. No tighter than the inside mark because the leech twists off. And then he's got the draft aft with the Cunningham kind of loose and the outhaul tight. So that you don't want to pull the draft forward into the slot. You want to leave that front area really flat. And they wanted the same game plan as yesterday. I told them if the pin was more favored than yesterday, the boat end start like they were doing might not, they got to be careful. Cannot start if it was more favored than it was. But I tell you, I can't believe how consistent the race committee is. The starts have been like 4 degrees to the pin end favored. That time was a little more, maybe 7. And 6, and so that's how a race committee works. They favor the pin a little, it spreads people out. If you make a square line, everybody wants to start at the boat for the starboard tack advantage. Here's the youngest team, 10 and 11. They're raced way back. They got the rig tension hard. They finished all 4 races yesterday. And again, we know that he knows that he's supposed to let the main out a little right now, but I don't care. I mean, look at that. Yesterday, the crew didn't want to crash, and they still finished every race. They beat 1 boat in 1 race. Love it. These guys are like, they're getting ready to do the under 12 Savard Regatta. 1 minute for the 29er start. You're looking at the angles. They look headed on port like yesterday. Fenton and Cam are out over there just going absolutely all the way, so I can't disagree with them. Between races, I will watch these race committee flags, and they are definitely a little further left. The pin is more favored now than it was for the 420 start. We got the SGP team is a new Long Beach team, quite young, still in Savids. Let's see. Skipper of 3026, kind of still in Savids. The skipper of 995 is still in Savids. The crew of 2670 is a Savids sailor. So just like we suspected, the wind, I'm telling you, it's a slightly lighter. It was windier before. Okay. Now it's choppier today. So that means that the crew can't get too far forward. It's a really complicated game. If the crew gets too far forward at all, now it's too windy for that. If it gets lighter and the crew gets too far forward, you put the bow under. So sometimes you have the skipper have to slide way back. If you do not want the bow to go under. Here we go, Sid in August. Funny, but Maple Savids, if you want to be good at sailing, Savids Maple. The starts are brutally hard. Close haul. Hard to be good at. So you have to have a thick skin. We got Kevin and Holland here, winning up on the left. Their goal again today, same goal, start, let people tack, go just a little further, because losing your lane on board tack is kind of a race winning ender. You can't win the race, you would have to tack them up again twice. So they went out just a little further away from you, they got a lane, and then they just change modes. They get as much apparent wind as they can before gaining height. The apparent wind creates more power and more flow on the boards, obviously. There you go. Little drag race to the right here. Race 1 on Sunday. They're surviving, dudes. It got windier. It's 12 knots right now, a little windier. It's kind of funny because it's not really 12 knots over here. Oh, it's lighter. Holland isn't trapping as hard. It's a little lighter for them. So that's funny. That's the thing we talked about. It's going to be more variable today because we have a gradient high pressure wind, and then we have the sea breeze, cumulus, building. These guys are shy, lane line by quite a bit. Kevin and Holland are also still shy, 1-4-1 break. And our goal for these teams is to obviously be absolutely dead flat. For younger teams, we're talking 1-2 degrees to lures, maybe don't yield the wind. It just gets the crew. Race 1 on Sunday. These guys are in 3rd. Boom's pretty tight, jib out, spinnaker's perfect, super flat. I like to sail with like a degree or 2 of leeward heel. I don't like to heel the windward in swells. I think it makes you have to steer the other way. You have to push the tiller to leeward. You already have to push the tiller to leeward because the spinnaker's already pulling the bow down. So in big swells and things, I tend to heel the leeward mast 1-2 degrees to leeward. I mean, just almost perfectly flat, but don't heel the windward because then the skipper has to push the tiller to head up. Okay, first is Kevin Holland. Second was a gain for Braden and Wyatt. I think the wind is not further left today yet. I think today I'm gonna have to ask them what the head to wind is. I'm gonna say 265, yes. Let's watch top 2 and race 1 on C420s. Okay, and when you're going upwind, you're looking at them. You see what they do? They have the pole at about 45 degrees, maybe a little further forward a little, and then they're yanking it. See there, it's at 70 degrees. Okay, yeah, they're waiting for a wave. But when you're going upwind and the leaders are going downwind, you're looking for where is their boom? Where are they sitting? Where is their pole angle? How high is their pole? If it was really light right now, you'd be looking for the pole height as well. Okay, remember that. Any fleet you get in, not just C420s, you look at the leaders as you're going upwind and they're passing you downwind. Jib loose, pole is pretty high, and they're pumping. You'd notice that as you were sailing by them. Here's Fenton and Fifth, blue and yellow kite. Beautiful day. I need to look at the rules so we can find out scores, but I do think there's a throwout in play too. So with a throwout, I teach them to not sail, not worry about throwouts, but you do kind of have to know them if you're in the top 3, let's say, if you're going to have a chance for top 3, which they do. But anyway, with a throwout, they have a 3-3-5-3, and that is an average of 14 divided by 5. So they're averaging less than 3. Yeah. Look at that. Pole high. Jib looks the same as Kingston. These guys' bang is a little tighter than them. You know, if you're feeling really good upwind, it's not, I mean, you could change your bang. But we don't have them put marks on their boats. Well, as soon as you put marks on your boat, you think that's where it goes all the time. Maybe you gotta remember the customer's young. And also when you change rake, marks change. So, but anyway, that looks pretty damn good actually. I'm happy. The main's full. They're out 5th place right now, and then we're gonna get Ronan video. They're beating boats. Here they come. 10 and 11. Ronan, Theo, part of the 3 amigos. You add Fenton to the group, they're the 3 amigos. They sail together, they teach each other, they play a lot. Our spinnaker trapeze class that we do, the non-competitive, just boat handling class that we do, is why kids can do this at this age. Outstanding. Yesterday was our first day racing in the ocean ever. This is why we have the spinnaker trapeze class, and we put 9-year-olds in it. Ronan's already been sailing 420s at age 10 for like over a year. Just boat handling, reaching. That's what the goal of the class is, put the pole on the headstay and reach. So we've been doing a lot of this over the last whole year. Super, coming to the finish line. Just over 10 knots according to the race committee. 9305. Got the bang tight, the Traveler a little bit tight. You know, the Traveler's pulled down a little tiny bit because we don't want the boom on center line at a team that's 140 pounds together. We want the boom off center line. You got the outhaul tighter, that's better. Here's the 3 amigos right here.
Clear start.
Okay, we'll see how they do. Sometimes you do that on a right. That was the Olympic trials 1987, 88. Start late at the boat. The courses were monstrous, right? Start late at the boat and or ride on time at the boat if you could, but even late at the boat, and then tack and bang it to the right corner. So that's really more of a tactic for a team that's dominant in speed. But anyway, there you go. Look at the little. Let's see if they can beat more boats this race. That just looks really good with the outhaul tight now. You can tell their bang is just smoked. You gotta be careful with that because you don't want to get a young kid's head knocked off by the boom. That's for sure. Two on Sunday, 29ers. Not much to see here. The key is how you gotta turn the boat slightly down, pull both sails in, and then that's gonna heel the boat. You don't use your body to heel the boat. You use the sails in and the boat down. So you scull down, trim your sails in, the boat heels over, and then the crew whomps the boat down. So you heel the boat with the sails. They did that well. 211 did that really well. What a start.
Clear start.
Kevin and Holland just start there. Try to pinch off. 1413 tries to pinch off 211. 211 tacks. And then Kevin and Holland just go out a ways, get away from everybody. They have kind of a speed advantage. The girls did a good job. Unfortunately, they capsized with a minute and a half to go. But they did a good job of recovering. There goes 211. 1413, the pin boat way down there. They're going to just extend. Oh, they didn't extend much. They're so confident, they just went for it. Looks like we're going up towards Point Loma more now than we were on Port Cac. So the wind has gone a little left. Pillar's kind of locked to the rail. Anytime the crew's not moving, the pillar's just dead straight. And then when the crew moves, you've got to turn a touch just to kind of barely. So but you have the tiller kind of locked down on the rail a little, or he does. Whoa! Here we are. Beach of the jib right at the spreader, maybe a tiny bit out. Laying the main through the swell. So anytime he needs power, he actually pumps the main in. And as soon as the boat heels to leeward at all, he spurts it out and holds it. He does a reverse pump. He'll just go, bam, he'll ease it and then stop it very quickly. Yeah, and then as soon as he needs power, he's just two blocked, man. He's just holding it there. Their Traveler is absolutely on the loose side. I mean, they are borderline too loose on the Traveler, and that's what you got to get good at. It just keeps the boom on center line so good. Cool. So the twist is just perfect. He's not able to hook it when he's two blocked. And that takes some guts. A lot of people get all freaked out. The problem with having it hook is the bottom of the main also gets much flatter. So they have the confidence to go. I mean, they are two blocked as hard as they can right now, and they still are twisted. Yeah, and that takes practice. The boat, you know, it just takes a very confident skipper to not panic when the boat starts to get too flat. I think the middle boat has less twist. So their Traveler's tighter than these guys. So you could probably say Kevin and Holland could probably maybe have the Traveler a little, half an inch tighter maybe. But the wind is quite a bit lighter now. 8 knots. I'm going to ask race committee when I get back down there. These guys are just having their best race. Braden and Wyatt. A little bit of current up here. I'm going to set the current stick here in a second. A little stronger current today, I think. hard to beat Kevin and Holland here. Got second at US Youth Champs in Bristol, Rhode Island last week. Their boat got back on the trailer from Bristol Friday night. And they raced yesterday and today. Yep, a little bit of current today. A little more current. Yeah, that's not 8 knots. Neck and neck. Zach here. Zach's done a good job of moving forward and aft. You got to remember, you want the knuckle of the bow down in the water in the light spots, and in the puffs you want to step back and pull the knuckle of the bow out of the water. And then if you're going to plunge, if you're going to put the bow under, the skipper's got to sit way back if the crew can't get back. If it was lighter than this, the crew would be in front of the shroud, so then it gets more fun. Nice. Kylie and Zach. Great job. Ben and Will. It's okay to do the double-handed steering. Yeah, look at these guys, the Long Beach guys, the new Long Beach guys. They're right in there. And we'll go, we've been 2 minutes, not quite. I'm gonna go see how far my current stick's gone. So yeah, my current stick, hasn't gone very far. It's only on the bow of that boat in 2 minutes. The mark's there. So current's not stronger at the top of the course. Overall, I'd say it's kind of a non-factor. To give these guys rubber ducky to make them feel better. Our little plastic rubber ducky toy. Where's Rubber Ducky? Where's Rubber Ducky? There he is. See how you squeeze that, it makes you feel better. Race 7, third race on Sunday. Benton 9006 must be down the line this time. I think he didn't like how far behind he was. I don't know where he is. I'm scared. He must have had a great start because I don't see him.
Clear start, clear start.
Oh, no, there he is. Oh, too bad. That's all right. I just found out that there is basically a tie for first right now. Just don't know how that can be with a throw out, but because I think Evan and Evan have almost all firsts with a throw out, but I'm not sure. So it's between 1413 and 211, and apparently it's yeah. Now you look up at the race committee and look up at her eyes, looking down the line, right straight down the line, and read the line here. 1413 is doing a good job staying high and slow. Starts to press. They go sideways, get the boat to heel, and then jump out. Uh-oh. He just said 5. You see the smile on the skipper's face? Come on! Where's my rubber ducky? You gotta squeeze it. Yep, they just squeezed the rubber ducky. Oh, look at this. These guys have a lock on 4th. They got 4th every race. Last race of the day, Kingston. You can see how tight the main has to be. The jib is quite loose. The main is tighter than the jib. And then the spinnaker's not being changed very much. Just making sure you're not stalled on it, but the skipper's steering to it like a jib. See how it doesn't change? They're not playing it. You're just steering to it like it's a big jib. This is a tight read. And then just playing the main. Yeah, and then here's our boys. We talked about this. Don't play the sheet too much because then it just collapses. Once you collapse, then it takes you like 10 seconds to get back up to speed. You're just steering to it like a big jib, like you steer to a jib upwind. Their jib is too tight. That's why their main's luffing so much. Their jib needs to go out. No, I'm not complaining. These guys are going to get third in this off. So, I'm happy as as happy as curious. The crew's not. Oh my God! Look at this. 8th place. Yes. Look at that. 145 soaking wet together. This is just awesome. Yeah, those guys have the under 12 regatta coming up on Thursday for Sabbath. You're gonna notice the starboard angle is kind of almost not quite parallel to the gates, but you definitely would be starting down there if that was a starting line. You're not like going perpendicular. If he was going that way right now, then this end would be further upwind, but he's going almost parallel to the gate, so you gotta go to that one. That one's further upwind. They're kind of close together, but it's a 4 or 5 boat length loss if you come to this. This is the guy winning the regatta, and he's going to go to the wrong one, so we're going to gain on him. So Fenton and Wallace right now, Fenton and Cam are probably 3rd in the regatta by 1 or 2 points right now. And they're seniors in high school in this week too. These guys are 7th graders. I tell you, 9006 out there looks lifted. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they get to the next we drop back a little. This is a massive current line right here. So I don't know what's, if I had something, if I anchored, I could probably figure it out. But this is an incredibly big current line. You can see it goes all the way down to the gate. So I have to assume the current is weaker where we are on this side because they have kind of beat our boys up back there. Anywho, that's why this guy's winning. Jib is quite tight, not quite on the inside mark on the deck. We don't have marks on our decks really yet. We're gonna get a little more experience. And then the main is, this main is actually stalled almost all the time. So he's very close to stalled all the time, and then he's just very patient. He's sailing perfectly flat. That's what you gotta practice. Every practice regatta, practice sailing perfectly flat. Not heel to windward. Oh, I didn't catch it, but our boy right back there, Benton, that's what I was worried about. He got kelp. He was just all the way in the back of the boat digging the kelp off the boat. So, good lesson. One thing about Southern California, especially San Diego, is we got a monster kelp bed right up there. And there we go. You can see it, all the little patches. And here's that current line again. So you see the kelps, look at this, all this kelp. That's another way to identify current lines, is the depth change is right there. All of this kelp is backing up right against the shelf change below. Incredibly tough sailing. There must be pretty strong current because it's taken us a long time to get here. Cam and Fenton got the kelp off their boat and they're back to 5th. So the wind went left. You see these guys aren't even laying. I thought they were overstanding. So the wind went left. They cleared their kelp and they got the lefty and they're ducking 4th place right now. You can see how far rig forward this boat is. Look how high they're from this. I don't like that very much because I think that makes the leech close off too easily. Our boys are fast, you know, if this winch is, you know, that guy's not real lifted on port. I think Fenton was higher than that on port, so I think it's gone back right a little. I think it's right in this race. And then what we're looking for is no luffing on the spinnaker downwind. The crew does not look down. So we're gonna watch that. The crew looks up all the time. The skipper looks for wind. The skipper is kind of looking backwards anyway because they're sitting on the leeward side. Look at it. 117? Are they making the mark? No? Look at that, dude. So they came across on a lefty, and then we saw a little righty that they got on, and so they moved into 4th, dude. This is going to be hard. Now, I want to watch a crew. I want to see their heads looking up the entire time. Let the skipper call all the tactics pretty much. I mean, you can discuss tactics, but look up. Don't look down. Never collapse. Never collapse. Never collapse. Yeah. Yeah. Got to ease slow, and you got to get in the rhythm with the swells. When you feel the boat surge, be ready to pull the sheet. This This is definitely an indicator of a lefty. We are laying the finish line, the gates easily on starboard. So Fenton should be in good shape here because he's working to the inside. I would say his pole could be higher, his bang could be a fraction looser, his main could be a fraction tighter, but I'm wondering if anybody put their centerboards up, any of our young, you know, with that team. And